Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of our guests today on Donnie and Dolly, including Brad Richardson, standing by, brought to you by The Sim at the Arnold Palmer Design Whistler Golf Club. Reminding guests of Whistler this winter to come play some of the world's best courses, Pebble Beach, St. Andrews, and more. Reserve your golf simulator time for you and your friends on The Sim at whistlergolf.com/academy. Canucks and Kings tonight at Rogers Arena. Thatcher Demko, this is as much as we know about the lineup at this point, is going to start in goal for the Canucks. He was the first goaltender off the ice today at the morning skate. As we bring in Brad Richardson, who had a couple of stints with the Canucks, has played for Bruce Boudreau, has played for Rick Tocchet, a former teammate of Andrew Brunette's, currently an unrestricted free agent center iceman. Brad, thanks for doing this. How are you, sir?
Good. How you guys doing?
Very well. For people who don't know, what are you up to these days?
I'm just kind of hanging out, to be honest. Up living in Scottsdale, Arizona, and just kind of enjoying time away from the game and hanging out with friends and family.
Are you planning a comeback? Are you going to play in the National Hockey League again?
No, I haven't officially retired,
Okay.
but I'm not going to play anymore. I kind of made my mind up last year. Probably that was going to be my last year. And, I had a couple offers and I had some opportunities to play and I just wasn't feeling it. And, best for my family and some things going on that it was time to step away.
Well, if you're going to hang him up, Scottsdale's not a bad place. Hey, Brad, what was it like? What was it like playing for Bruce Boudreau last season?
I mean, my experience was great. I mean, I don't know how many games I was there for, but I don't remember losing too many. So, he's definitely a player's coach, someone that's kind of pretty easygoing. So, as an older guy coming in, it was pretty easy. You show up, you work, you do your thing, and it's a pretty relaxed environment.
Did you have an issue, and this has been a point of conversation here in Vancouver, Brad, I'm sure you're aware of it. Did you have any issue with the structure that Bruce Boudreau had in place?
You know what? I mean, he's been a very successful coach, so it's tough to really have anything bad to say. I mean, every coach has their, came from Daryl Sutter to Bruce, so it's a lot different, basically two different ends of the spectrum, but Bruce has got a lot of wins over his career, so it's tough to say that his model doesn't work. So, everyone's got their different structure. I mean, some guys might not work for them, other guys it works for them. For me personally, I know what I have to do to get ready for a game. I know what I have to do to be ready to practice and all that kind of stuff. So, either coaching strategy didn't bother me one bit.
Have there been times in the past with coaches where you question their system or their structure? Because so much of hockey, Brad, it happens in the spur of the moment or it's chaotic. Has that happened in the past for you?
I think over your career, there's coaches that you don't really maybe see eye to eye with in certain areas. But when a coach puts a system in place, I mean, the players, their job is to buy in and believe it. So. You don't always agree with everything your coach says, and I don't care how good he is. That's just the way it is. But your coach is there. He's your leader and someone that you got to respect, and you got to kind of do what he says and buy in. Any good team, you can say you got a lot of guys in the room, a lot of different players that need to be treated a certain way, but you have to buy in and make the best of the situation. So there's the grass isn't always greener. I think we all know that. So you got to buy in and make the most of every situation.
You mentioned, and it was 17 games, by the way, last year in Vancouver, Brad. You mentioned winning a lot in Vancouver last year under Bruce Boudreau. Are you surprised this roster is struggling so far this year?
Yeah, I thought they might carry some momentum from the second half over. I think they've played a little bit better of late. I've watched a couple of their games. It's hard. I mean, some guys probably aren't playing the way they want to. There's some guys that are playing really well, but it is what it is. There's a lot of other teams that have struggled as well early, but I wouldn't count them out yet. They're a pretty talented group. When they got a great goaltender like they do, things can turn around quickly, but there's a lot of pressure in Vancouver, as we all know. So You know, he loses a few games, and it goes from Bruce, there it is, to get this guy out of here. You know, so it is what it is. I wouldn't panic by any means. It's a talented team. Obviously, there's probably a few places they'd like to fill in and get a little deeper, but you know, I wouldn't count them out.
Hey, Brad, let me ask you. You played for the Canucks in 2013, 2014. You come back 8-9 years later. The losing is still there. Are you surprised this franchise, is there something you can pinpoint? Because you were here 7-8 years ago, and here you are again, and we're kind of in the same mess.
Yeah, I mean, the first year I was there was under Torts, and I to be honest, I thought we had a heck of a team. You know, we missed the playoffs, and I don't know how. I think for the first half of the season we were one of the better teams in the league. You know, the Torts had his little thing what happened with the fight and all that, and the suspension, which kind of derailed us a little bit. And then the next year, we got in the playoffs, and we got beat by Calgary, but. It's very. I mean, I think it just goes to show how hard it is to win and be a very successful team in the NHL. I mean, it's just very hard to be consistent and have that. Before I got there, they were one of the most consistent teams in the league for probably 5, 6, 7 years, with the Sedins in their prime and all those guys. It's just a very hard formula to get right. I think they're trying, and they're trying their best to do it, but. I don't want to speak too negatively about anyone, but there's some moves they made that probably aren't the best, and now they're kind of hamstringed on their cap situation a little bit as well.
Hey, Brad, we've been hearing for a couple of years now the dressing room, the mix ain't right. You were in that dressing room last year. What did you think? Is the culture right? Is the leadership right in there, Brad, in your eyes?
You guys really want me to bury some people, huh?
No, we don't want you to bury, but you were in that dressing room, though, Brad.
Yeah, but again, I think Bo is a hell of a leader. He sees what he does on the ice. It was funny seeing him as a young player in his first. I think it was his first year I played with him in the league.
Yeah, that's right.
Coming back 8 years later, whatever it was, and seeing him as a captain and kind of the face the team and all that. So that was a big kind of cool to see. I think he's done a great job. I think any team can't just rely on one guy. It's a leadership group, and it was funny. It was so funny because when I was there, I was in the leadership group actually with the few other guys with Ham Hughes and the Sedins and Biesca and I saw Kevin talk about this in one of his interviews, and he said, there's leadership you need in every kind of department. You need a bottom six guy that leads the bottom six. You need this guy that leads the defense, guys that lead, their top guys and all that. And I think that's maybe what's lacking is on their bottom end. I think there's some top end leadership, and I think the bottom end, the bottom six guys don't have a lot of big, role model that they can really lean on and go, that's our guy that's going to lead, set the example for all those guys in the bottom end. Leadership comes in a lot of different forms, and you need, a well-rounded group.
We're coming after you because you're rubbing it in with those palm trees in the background.
Yeah.
Just so you know, okay? So we're coming right back at you. Did we lose Brad?
Yeah,
there you go.
I just got out of the pool about half hour ago, too. So.
Okay, yeah, okay.
It's -2 this morning,
okay,
Brad.
Just for that, what are your memories of playing for – because Rick Tocchet's name has been thrown around here. Your memories of playing for Rick Tocchet and being a teammate of, if I've got this right, Andrew Burnett's in Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah, well, first off with Rick, I mean, he came into Arizona and, we were, kind of a bottom feeder team, kind of struggling to kind of find our identity, I guess. He came in and, the first year we stunk, but he started building a culture that, I really enjoyed being a part of. He's a hardworking guy. He's very intense. He gets on the ice. He's involved in the pre-practice drills with you. He's bumping. He's kind of getting on you. He's showing you different things that he used in his career to be successful. He's a very hands-on coach, and I really, really enjoyed playing for him. Very honest coach, easy to talk to. There's not a whole lot of wondering what he's thinking. He tells you up front if you have a problem, you can talk to him. His door's open. I just really enjoyed playing for him. I think he's a hell of a coach. I'm shocked that he hasn't had a coaching job since then, because I thought with our group he made us. He brought us down. Obviously, we weren't a cup contender, but he got us into a playoff, series from where we were. He made our team at least feel that it was moving in the right direction from where it was. So I thought he did a hell of a job. As far as Andrew Burnett, what a great guy. He, played with him as a teammate, and he was just hilarious to be around, infectious laugh, infectious person, and just super, super smart. So I'm not surprised that he's people are looking at him. I thought he did a great job in Florida. I was kind of shocked when he got let go, but he's just one of those guys. He's just very smart. I think a lot of players respect him because he has a very, very great way of looking at the game, and you can learn a lot from him. Again, easy person to talk to, fun guy to be around, and not sure whatever happens. I hope Bruce, stays there and everything turns around. It was great, but I mean, he's just a great guy. They're both Rick's, great guy. They're both great people. I've never had Andrew as a coach, but I've talked to him when he was coaching with Florida, and he seemed like, and all the players there seemed like they really enjoyed working with him as well. So, both great people, and they should be both head coaches.
This has been great, Brad. Close to 900 NHL games. You got yourself a Stanley Cup ring in Los Angeles in 2012. Just your thoughts on your career, if indeed this is it.
Yeah, I'm very, very proud of what I was able to accomplish. Wasn't a high draft pick. Had to work for everything I got. So to be able to, win a Stanley Cup and play on some pretty good teams, it was great. I mean, I had quite a few injuries that were kind of, some are unlucky, some whatever, from playing the right way. So I hope that would have been nice to get those games up, over 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is, and it's a tough league. And I wasn't the biggest guy, but I had to play bigger than I was, so some of those things just happened. But very proud of myself, and the best thing about this league is the friendships and people I've met over the years. So it was really great, and I'm happy. I'm in a healthy spot. I feel good mentally, and it just felt like kind of the right time where I'm like, it's probably enough. My family's at it. I got 2 young girls, and it's just tough. You want to be around, you want to see them grow, and I think I wasn't enjoying the training as much that I had to put in the time and stuff you had to put in. And I just kind of felt like the right time. And so far I haven't missed playing the game. I still watch quite a bit because I love, I love hockey. And hopefully soon, and when I feel ready, I'd like to get back in and do something and work with the teams. Because I feel like I have a lot to give and help the young guys and help players. And and I just enjoy being around that atmosphere. It's something I'll remember forever. It's just a great league, and just so many great people.
Yeah, 37 years old, still a puppy. Enjoy the swimming, the golf, and the trees behind you and everything. And thanks so much for this, Brad. We really appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Take care.